I just learned last week that the thinker, the famous statue, the thinker is not resting on his fist. I've always just assumed it was, but he was resting on kind of the back of his hand. That was a new discovery for me. A little trivia question from my Wednesday night trivia night with my kids and some other friends. So just thought I'd share that with you. Hi, it's the 30th, the end of the day, the 30th of November. I have successfully gone through the entire month of November with no solid food passing between these lips. I've had a success in terms of fasting, in terms of accomplishing it. Tomorrow is July 1st, of course. Okay, and the question will be whether I continue the fast. Well, yes, I am. I'm going to continue. I see no reason to quit right now at this point. I am feeling fine, feeling good. Didn't realize that at 30 days without solid food that I would feel perfectly fine to move on. But I'm not craving food terribly. It's a mental, emotional craving that I have, I think, more than physical. I did have a little what felt like hunger pains this morning. I'm like, oh man, I kind of feel hungry, as opposed to just an emptiness, a little more intense. But that passed pretty soon, and I've been able to get through the day with really no main desires. I mean, when I see things on the internet or see things on television, I would love to have that, love to taste that, and so that's still a struggle and a temptation. But I'm gonna keep moving on. My weight this morning was 277. So that means I've lost a total of 40.8 pounds. That was 1.8 pounds down from the day before. Of course, the day before I had gained 1 pound, so it's a net loss in the last couple of days of 0.8 pounds. But I'm still moving on. 277 is a lot better than it's been. It's not as low as I wanted to get at the end of this fast, but I knew that what I really wanted was not reasonable. But I'm willing to go on. So the intention now is to get to 40 days, 10 more days into July. I will make a decision day by day, depending upon how things are going, and I'll keep you up with that. I'll just continue to doing this and let you know how it's going. So once again, my loss is 40.8 pounds. For those of you who are concerned about my numbers, I just share with them today. This morning I was perfect 120/80 blood pressure. I thought that was really cool to actually see those particular numbers. No blood pressure medicine in a couple of weeks, something like that, or at least a week. So that's doing really well. Tonight, before I came to do this video, is 127/79, so still in the good range. My pulse was a little bit higher. It was 82, whereas this morning it was 60. Don't know why it was higher, but it was. And my blood sugar was 105 this morning, and this evening is 121. Don't know why it jumped up. I am drinking a little bit of this Gatorade Zero here, 0 calories. I don't know if that affects what I'm doing. It's actually 10 calories per container, so it's 10 calories there, but I don't know what that did for the immediate 121. But we'll keep watching it. I want it to come down to where it's hovering without any medication. I haven't had any medication now in once again a couple of weeks probably, and it's been hovering right around the 100 a little bit, between 100 and 105. It was down in the 90s for a while. Now it's jumped up to where it's kind of just doing that. Now it's jumped up to 121. And 121 is above the level of prediabetes into diabetes level 1. And so I want to see how long it hovers with that without me doing any kind of medication and see what happens. But I'll keep you up with that progress along the way. But when you've lost over 40 pounds and you're feeling better, I was a little bit more active today than some days. I got out and did a little work outside, a little, not a lot, but still enough to wet my shirt completely with sweat. I was building a bike rack to go on the back of my vehicle so I can get back to bike riding, and I want to take my bike that's been sitting up for a long time to a bike shop and get it ready to go. Have them do whatever they need to make sure it's ready to go. I've got a mountain bike that I bought years ago from a friend of mine, and I want to use it. Again. I've used it quite a bit over time, but it's been sitting for a long time. So that's my intention. Is to use. I enjoy biking. And so I want to do something that I enjoy. Now I want to discuss one thing with you. Excuse me. First of all, a couple things. The last few days I've had headphones on. You haven't seen me with headphones on before. I got some feedback from one of my sons saying that my levels were low, volume-wise, and so I decided I'd start putting on my headphones so I can actually hear my levels and adjust if I needed to along the way. There's my gain right there. I can adjust it up a little bit, which I'm doing right now. See if you can tell the difference. But at least I can hear how I'm coming through a little bit. So that's why I'm making that change, and I want to monitor that. It was actually one of the episodes I thought was, I had a lot of good stuff to say and did really well. I felt pretty good about it. And then he said he could barely hear it or had trouble hearing it. So that's why that's going on here. I know that my quality is low in terms of video. I've got my lights up here in the room, but it's not professional quality at all. I was back in college days. I was a radio TV major, and of course that was a long time ago. They didn't have nearly the technology then that they have now. But I do remember one particular thing I was really proud of. That we did a news production every day. It was a campus news production. On our TV, we had a TV studio there, and one of the days my assignment was to set up the lights for that, and I set up the lights to go on the newscasters the way I'd been taught to, and I'd never done it before, and I was really meticulous and careful to do it. And our director, who was the head of the department, he wasn't the actual director; he was the director of the department, and but he watched every night, and then would comment if necessary on some things. And he made a particular comment, and he didn't do this. I never heard him make a comment on this particular aspect, on the lighting. He said whoever did the lighting did a fantastic job. And so I was like, whoa! I don't know if anybody even noticed, because I kind of basically set the lighting before anybody was there. But I felt really good about that. And so to be able to doing this and knowing good and well that the lighting's not good. The light coming through my glasses is weird. My eyes are dark. It's not good background. It all kind of washes out. I realize this. I only have it because it looks a little interesting. And I'm not set up in my office to be able to do this because of the way I've had to rearrange it to be trying to show the house. Because we're in the middle of selling it. So a lot of things kind of limit what's going on. And I haven't purchased the proper lighting. But I will, and I'll be looking better. And you won't have, as I go along and do different things, which I plan on doing because I'm enjoying this. And I think maybe I have a couple things to offer here and there. And I'm just experimenting to try to do that. So I will get lighting, and it will look better. And so you can be rest assured I'm going to work on that here and there, and go and kind of build it up, particularly as I have the money to spend on some stuff. But one last thing I want to talk about, and this is important. I did get some feedback from somebody who I don't know who they were, but they made a comment on my YouTube version of this, and they just said something about they said something to the effect of. You're supposed to do fasting, and not without you doing a YouTube video about it. In other words, I believe that they were alluding to the fact that Jesus taught that when we do fasting, we should be basically. We shouldn't be trying to promote it in front of other people. And I appreciate that feedback. And I was hoping somebody would ask about that kind of thing, because I did think I have thought about this. And every other time I've done any kind of fasting, I've tried to be careful not to really brag about it and talk about it at all. Sometimes I've not let anybody know about it at all in any way, except for those that it would affect, that I'd had to let go if I went out to dinner with somebody, or preparing food around the house. I had to let people know not to prepare for me to eat anything, and then we get in a discussion about what's going on. But I've tried to not use that as something to say I'm showing off. But in this particular case, I decided to do these videos, and it's because I wanted to be accountable in such a way where it would motivate me to continue to keep going. That's one thing. But I want to just delve into what they were talking about, which I believe they're talking about is that we're not supposed to make it a big scene that we're doing that kind of thing. It was in the context of the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus was teaching, and he said words. These words. This is from the New International Version. He said, "Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them." So that's the context, and he goes on to deal with three specific things about giving, about praying, and about fasting. And I wanted to look, first of all, about understanding that first phrase, careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. I hope that if you've heard my messages along in here, that I've not tried to be showing off my righteousness. As a matter of fact, if you've listened to what I've said, I've talked about the importance of complete reliance on God, and that I have nothing to give. I have no righteousness even to offer. All I can offer to him is just my surrender. So I was trying to make that clear earlier. So this is not in any way an attempt to show off any kind of super spirituality. As a matter of fact, that's not the intent of the fasting really to begin with. I'm fasting for physical issues. I'm trying to practice something that will help me get a lot of fat off of me that I've been keeping a long time. And so it is not at all to be able to, for not a spiritual purpose behind this. And certainly when he was talking about the religious leaders of his day, they would have some strange practices. He said, when you give to the needy, don't announce it with trumpets, like as they do in the synagogues, the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, so that others will notice them, to be honored by them. And he said, after each one of these examples of giving, praying, and fasting, he said, they have their reward, which means being noticed by others is what they wanted. They got it. But don't expect anything from God the Father. And he said, when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites, because they like to pray out in front of them, stand out in front of the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen. He says, once again, they've received the reward. So understand that each one of these kinds of things he is saying has to do with the motivation to do something that will impress others about your righteousness and your spirituality. That's the context, and that is not what I'm attempting to do. As a matter of fact, the fact that I'm able to fast, I think, is only because God gives me grace to do it, not because I'm kind of anything special. I think that I've learned to look to him more through this, and I'm hoping that I'm able to pass some of those things along to you as this time has gone on. But I do not intend to say, hey, look at me and how great I am. That's not at all the intention. It's encouraging when people tell me that they're happy for me, that they're rooting for me, but I don't intend to impress. What specifically Jesus said about fasting, he says, when you fast, don't look somber as the hypocrites do. He said they would disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. So they were trying to put on a gloomy face. Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm going to put myself through all of this for God, for the Father. And I am, of course, they didn't think of the Trinity, so they only had the Father. There was no idea they had about the different parts of the Trinity, the Godhead. But they would think in terms of God, and they think of God, the Father, and they would say, they would just look like they're going through so much. Notice how much I'm trying to do what God wants me to do because I'm a righteous. I look at my righteousness. And so they would put on this act, and they may have been feeling it, but they made sure that others knew about it. And once again, he said, I'll let you know that they've received the reward. But he says, but when you fast, put the oil on your head. In other words, Brill cream it up. I don't know if any of you know what Brill cream was. I don't even know if they make anymore. Wash your face. In other words, don't try to do anything to emphasize that you're going through this. Try to just look good, look normal. And he says, so you will not be obvious to others that you're fasting. So when I go out, I don't try to look like I'm trying to show off that I'm fasting in any kind of way. As a matter of fact, I try to have an upbeat kind of thing. As a matter of fact, it's been kind of easy to be upbeat because it's really helped me feel a lot better. It says so that you not be obvious to the Father or to others that you're fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So understand the idea that when I fast for spiritual reasons in particular, and I'm being obedient to God in that calling, and with prayer and fasting, that I'm not supposed to make a big thing of it. And I'm not supposed to talk about it, not supposed to try to impress people with that. But let God reward me and not look for the reward of the approval of others. I understand that, and that's not the purpose behind this, nor do I wish at all for people to be impressed with thinking, I'm some kind of spiritual giant, because obviously I am not. If you know me, you know I'm not. And only through God's grace can I really display anything that resembles any kind of righteous behavior, because it's only Him working through me. And I believe that when you just surrender to Him, and you love Him dearly, and you respond to His love, that you'll want to be obedient. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And sometimes I'm disobedient. Sometimes I'm very intentionally disobedient, knowing good and well I'm going to be doing something I shouldn't do. And then His Holy Spirit always brings me back and convicts me. But that's the struggle we have as people. And I have no intention whatsoever of trying to be spiritually impressive to you guys. Matter of fact, I need your prayers. I need you to understand that if I have gained anything through this that helps me mature as a Christian, it's just because of God's grace and because of what He's teaching, not because of anything I'm doing, and that I will be happy to pass any of that along. So I want you to know the intention behind that. I think it's a fair question, and I'm glad this person, whoever they are, brought it up. I hope my answer satisfies the reasoning behind that. But that is what's going on here, and that's exactly why I'm doing these videos. Also, in the context of doing these videos, I want to pass on some lessons that I have learned and I'm learning. It's just an excuse to do that. As my old boss Zig Ziglar said, approach every subject with an open mouth, which is what he does, and I do that too. I talk too much, and I'm rambling right now. However, I do want to teach some things from life. If you're able to put up with the vessel that's delivering it, teach some things along the way. I want my kids to see these so that when I'm gone, they have a memory of Dad actually interacting. This is incredible that we have technology to do this, that they can pass that on to grandkids and they can see what Granddad looked like, how he talked, and the things he believed. And then whoever follows that might want to know about me and my life at all. I'm going to use videos in the future for more about me, and it's once again, it's just to kind of document who I am and what I am, so it could be and what I'm about, pass it on, and maybe teach a few things along the way. And the whole time, I'll be giving you my bird's eye view, which is, I think, hilarious. It's funny. It's good. Until the end of July 1st, when I'm on the 31st day of my 40-day fast. And I will let you know how I'm doing after all that.